My name is Justin Gross. I'm a co-founder and partner at Justice for Kids. We were contacted by an adoptive parent who was actually the biological grandmother of a little girl who had suffered severe catastrophic injuries as a result of persistent and protracted child abuse. She was only 4 to 8 weeks old when this happened, and she was placed into a home with her biological parents who had an extensive history of involvement in the child welfare system. They had each had children removed from their care previously because of child abuse. For whatever reason, decisions were made to place our client, Ellie, into the home when she was completely defenseless and vulnerable and when the violence was completely predictable. Ultimately, she's brought to the hospital in an unresponsive state. They did a lot of diagnostic imaging, and during the diagnostic imaging, they observed parietal skull fracture, hemorrhaging, subdural hematoma, rib fractures that were at multiple stages and varied stages of healing, retinal hemorrhaging. They suspect this is shaken baby syndrome. Law enforcement was notified. They came out and immediately undertook their investigation. During that process, they found surveillance cameras that had been placed inside the home. What they saw was the mother grabbing one of the other children, lifting him off the ground, violently thrashing him back and forth in a manner that had been suspected to have occurred with our client. It was important to us to know who knew what and when, or who should have known what and when. And because this had happened over time, and we could see from the records that child welfare people were in the house and supposed to be making visits and ensuring that she was safe, we could clearly put a timeline together that would describe where the failures were and how those failures led to this kind of harm. And that's what's so dangerous about this stuff. You know, you're dealing with the lives of vulnerable children, and you can't afford to have gaps in their safety net. You're taking them out of an environment because you deem it to be unsafe. You can't put them in a worse position. So we went through an early mediation, which was totally unproductive. I want to say it was prior to formally filing suit. The outcome was a negotiated settlement with all remaining parties. With respect to the Department of Children and Families, it's a settlement that we have to seek the passage of what's called a legislative claims bill in order to get it funded. They agreed that they would not contest us on the claims bill. They wouldn't fight us or oppose us. And that's a bit of a rarity. February 10th of 2025, we had a hearing in front of the House and Senate special masters on our bill. And one of the most significant pieces of evidence that we got to use was the DK Global video. We were able to play that for the House and the Senate and help walk through our case by using the video. We got favorable results from both sides, but then the battle really begins, and you have to work through committees on the House side, you have to work through committees on the Senate side, and only when you get through 3 of each do you get to the governor's desk. And so we had unanimous success through the House side. We started to have success on the Senate side, and then some other issue unrelated to us caused friction between the House and the Senate, and her bill dies on the vine. As frustrating as that process is, we love doing it. And so we're just getting ready for the next legislative session, and goal is see it through until, if it takes 5 more, then that's what it takes. But she deserves this. She didn't bring any of this harm on herself. And but for the failure of government agencies and their contractors, she would not have a lifetime of needs. DK Global created an animation that depicted the location, nature, and age of the injuries that our client suffered. And so I thought in this case, what a powerful way to not only demonstrate the injuries, but to highlight that these were inflicted upon a child who couldn't speak for herself. So in essence, DK Global gave her a voice.